Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. And I gotta say guys, thank you so much for making Working Money Channel what it is today. Just yesterday, I reached 90,000 subscribers. This isn't actually a live subscriber count. I'm actually at 90,014 subscribers. So we broke that 90,000 subscriber mark. The next big goal, obviously, 100,000. And, I just wanted to thank you guys. You guys have been awesome. Some of you guys been there from the start. Others finding me along the way. And, I hope I am adding value to your XRP experience. Got a lot of information today, guys. Just looking at the Bitcoin chart first. Bitcoin hovering at $20,100. So, we're still actually, this is creating a nice base here, right in here. Nice little double bottom since the beginning of the summer. And, we're hoping that this is going to be the launch off point that will bring Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to higher highs. But take a look at that base, just forming great support here. At about $20,000 per BTC. We know, of course, that level has been historically important. We are basing on old resistance first that we saw back in December of 2020, but more importantly, it was the former all-time high from back in December of 2017. $20,000 also a round number, and so, buyers and sellers finding that Bitcoin is at a reasonable enough price to trade. Bringing up XRP here, XRP did see a bit of a spike over the last several hours here, actually over the last few days. Did come back up from this low of about 43.9. Now we're trading at roughly 50 cents again. So almost 50 cents, 49.6. And we're back up here, guys, back up at this level of resistance. So I'm wondering what we are going to see next. I mean, we can't really avoid the elephant in the room. That 702 is going to be really important. If we get rejected here, well, we got some more work to do. But if we can get past the point 702, and ultimately past that high of about 55.8. I think we're going to see XRP continue to the upside. So as of today, the crypto market is looking fairly good. I wanted to bring this up from XRP Crypto Wolf with regards to Nexo and distributing Flare or Spark tokens. Nexo will distribute Flare to all eligible XRP holders between October 24th and November the 6th. So this is the date, at least for Nexo holders specifically. That means that Spark tokens will be available for the airdrop in and around this time. I don't know when the official date is, but at least if you guys are on the Nexo exchange, this is when your FLR tokens will be distributed to you. And remember, you would have had to have had XRP on an exchange, a supporting exchange or a ledger or something like that during the snapshot, and you would have had to set up your ledger to participate in that snapshot. So as of December, I think it was December 12, 2020, depending on how much XRP you had in your account, you would get approximately 1-to-1. I think it's 1.007 to 1, or 1 to 1.007 FLR tokens for every XRP that you held at that time. So guys, that's the time frame now, October 24th to November the 6th, coming up very soon. XRP will soon be adapted by the entire world, and I use it every day. This coming from E. Smitty, all right? And E. Smitty, for those of you guys who do not know, and I didn't actually know, he follows me, super producer, audio engineer, record executive, influencer, and over 500 million impressions on social media. So he's part of the XRP fam, Algo family as well. And in a recent tweet, he said in professional music circles, he's praised the Ripple affiliated token XRP, saying that he expects it to be adopted by the entire world soon. In a recent tweet, US record producer, audio engineer, and songwriter E. Smitty has shared that XRP is kind of important for him since he believes in the present and the future of this cryptocurrency. He uses XRP every day to pay royalties to the artists he works with, and he accepts payments in XRP for mixing, mastering, producing, and marketing in this crypto. And here's the tweet, guys, from a couple of days ago. I use XRP every day as a currency. I pay my artists royalties in XRP, and I accept payments for my mixing, mastering, production, and marketing in XRP, 3 exclamation points, 3-second transactions, very little fees, and soon to be adopted by the entire world, XRP the standard. So obviously a proponent, and maybe E. Smitty should be writing an Amicus brief as well. Booyah, I'm gonna follow him. Great to hear that type of news. I think more and more people are realizing, even if they're not organizations or financial institutions in that kind of classic capacity, they're realizing XRP is just so damn fast. I mean, why not use it for actual transactions? There was a point in time when there still weren't a lot of alternative cryptocurrencies available on certain exchanges. So what I used to do for on-ramping, I'd on-ramp my money on my crypto exchange, I'd convert it right there to XRP. then transfer it to whatever exchange I wanted to buy another coin on, and from there, either convert it back right away to USDC or something similar, and then buy the altcoin. And I mean, sure, I'd get dinged a little bit on the transaction fees, but it was basically the fastest way to make the transaction. And, sometimes it's, when you want to get into the trade, and if you haven't planned and you don't have your money onboarded right away, you want to get into a coin at a certain price. XRP was obviously the fastest, and, I was even using it in that capacity just to trade other coins and get my money from one point to another quickly. We're also seeing this kind of thing coming out of the Arab world. This is another one from XRP Crypto Wolf. Ripple's remittance technology is expanding further into the UAE as Ripple partner 3S Money launches in the Middle East. According to a press statement, the Dubai Financial Services Authority, an independent regulator of financial services provided in or from the Dubai International Financial Center, has granted a license to 3S Money, an international payments platform. And they're just retweeting out this Wrath of Kahneman tweet here. Ripple partner 3S Money Club in the UK has received licensure and expanded to provide money services from Dubai International Financial Center, or the DIFC, where Ripple's regional headquarters is located. Their focus is on high-value transactions via international business accounts. So more utility through RippleNet going through the Middle East in particular, in this case, Dubai. Dubai is one of the most populous cities in the United Arab Emirates. With the license 3S Money, which aims to transform cross-border business, will give UAE-based companies access to more than 190 countries with a single digital global business account, enabling quicker payments in more than 40 different currencies. So providing liquidity through the XRPL 3S Money, another one in a long list that has adopted the technology. So great news there from XRP Crypto Wolf. I also wanted to bring you guys this from the Wrath of Kahneman. Former Ripple partner, MoneyGram, has now invested in Jinglepay. This is another UAE-based company, a UAE financial super app, actually. Jinglepay uses Ripple partner Al Fardan Exchange for certain FX corridors. And so this just recently came out. The UAE hosts nearly 9 million expatriates, constituting approximately 89% of the population, making the country a powerhouse for outbound remittances. The partnership means that these people can use the Jinglepay app, powered by MoneyGram's global payment rails and near real-time capabilities, to send money to over 200 countries and territories around the world. Just the other day, I actually did a video about MoneyGram and Western Union, both being Ripple-enabled, and if you guys didn't catch that video, I will link that up here in the top right-hand corner. This goes on to say, though, Alex Holmes, MoneyGram chairman and CEO, has joined the Jinglepay board as chairman to help guide the firm's path. He says, "We're excited to partner with Jinglepay as we believe in their strategic vision to improve the key elements of traditional banking through its suite of innovative digital offerings." So Alex Holmes has been very, very warm to DLT technology since the beginning. They obviously partnered with Ripple back in 2019. The partnership did dissolve, at least in its current state. Then we heard MGI partnered with Stellar, but through the grapevine, we started to kind of get hints that they were also Ripple-enabled as well. Wrath of Kahneman continues down here. I can't remember offhand if MGI still uses RippleNet, clearly not ODL, so there's a lot of controversy still surrounding that. Jinglepay, though, initially targeted no/low-cost remittances, and MoneyGram isn't that. Does a move like this strengthen connections to Ripple or diminish them as MoneyGram takes more market while not using Ripple? Well, I don't know in what capacity. Obviously, they aren't using the ODL product, but utilizing another company that does have Ripple ties does mean that indirectly, at least in this case, MoneyGram could still be using RippleNet. Anyway, take a look at that video that I posted the other day. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for posting that. Also wanted to bring this up, guys, with regards to Singapore's monetary authority, or rather the Monetary Authority of Singapore. They have just launched a new ESG hub designed to spur collaboration between fintech startups, financial institutions, and other stakeholders. So the Monetary Authority of Singapore, we know, is a Ripple-enabled partner, and ESG has been one of these buzz terms that we've been hearing within the financial sector. Companies wanting to start to invest in environmentally friendly solutions. So they're saying the ESG ecosystem through supported fintechs in the field, anchoring enablers such as investors, knowledge partners, and financial institutions, and backing stakeholders to drive material, quantifiable impacts. And the Monetary Authority of Singapore says it already has 15 ESG fintechs and organizations set up at the hub as it builds up an on-site community that will ultimately boost financial sector access to high-quality climate and sustainable data. So we know Ripple's mandate. They're also very climate friendly, have been since the beginning. Obviously, the XRPL uses a fraction of the electricity that other blockchains preceding it has. So now Ripple partner, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, has actually created an impact hub for just that reason. So that's some interesting news there. Also wanted to bring up this, guys, from the Cryptic Poet with regards to the Algorand Foundation. So a little bit more Algorand news here. They have a mission now growing the ecosystem of Algorand to a carbon negative layer 1 blockchain, but they're also proud to support the launch of Trust, a transmedia project featuring a graphic novel, motion comic, and NFT collection created by Chief Niamweya. Ann Connolly and Sarah Malia. The Algorand Foundation Grant Supporter Project is being distributed worldwide by Freehand Studios for free through download on the Trust website. And so there's more information down here about that, basically expanding to more artistic NFT use cases in this regard. So not so much Ripple and XRP related. And, there is a lot to say about the Algorand blockchain, another one of my favorite cryptocurrency projects that I think is really going to do well. They've been doing so much here. This is just another one example of the kinds of things that are going on with regards to the Algorand team. I will leave this in the description of the video if you want to read further. Got so much today that I want to keep moving though. This from Stefan Huber, okay guys? Digging a little deeper with regards to Clayton and Hinman and their time at the SEC, Stefan Huber says, this is the guy who had oversight of Clayton and Hinman. I'm studying the detailed investigation report right now, and what immediately stands out is that the offenses, shutting down investigations, withholding information, and sexual harassment all occurred between 2017 and 2020 and had no consequences under Clayton. Quid pro quo. Now, who he's talking about here is Carl Hoker, okay? On or about October 10th, 2018, Hoker engaged in wrongdoing. This allegation arose out of information provided in an email received by the IC on October the 12th, containing information that on October the 10th, Hoker contacted. An interesting investigation here from Stefan Huber. He also, so he screen grabs a few pages from this report in here. Down here, he says, created a hostile work environment. So this is just some of the things he was accused of. Created a hostile work environment by instructing individuals not to provide information to one another, obstructed justice by concealing records and withholding information from a U.S. attorney's office, so on and so forth. So he asks, is this quid pro quo? Any bet this guy could only keep his job because he didn't look at Clayton and Hinman in return. That explains a lot, and that alone is already a huge scandal. I mean, he says this is the guy who led the SEC oversight. Turns out there was another report and letter from the acting chairman of the Council of General Inspectors from December 2020, which unfortunately I can't find on the internet, but he does post this, them calling for the immediate removal of the SEC Inspector General Carl Hoker. So Hoker, another piece to this puzzle of corruption. And, as Stefan Huber even points out here, this in itself would be enough for a scandal, let alone everything else that is tied in with this. Eleanor Turret also just commenting on this, I'm told the OIG is completely separate from the rest of the SEC and usually only gets involved if there's an allegation of wrongdoing. Hoker would not have necessarily had day-to-day contact with Clayton and Hinman and wouldn't have been part of the approval process for Hinman's speech. So Eleanor Turret is saying, although this is juicy and perhaps a piece to the puzzle, he wouldn't necessarily have been directly influential within the context of the Hinman speech. According to my SEC source, the person that would have had to approve the speech and the only person that could have stopped it going ahead was General Counsel Robert Stebbins, who also happened to be one of Clayton's close friends from their days at Penn Law, or the University of Pennsylvania Law School. Stebbins was General Counsel when Clayton brought the case against Ripple. Interesting news there, setting up the landscape to expose more corruption here. Now, did you hear the SEC's response to the iRemit and TapJet's Amicus filings? BondCrypt XRP bringing this to our attention, guys. In a motion letter to federal judge Annalisa Torres, the SEC asked the court to deny the requests of iRemit and TapJets to file amicus briefs in support of the defendant's motions for summary judgment in the Ripple case. The SEC has slammed the movants for attempting to offer evidence that is outside of the constraints of discovery restrictions. Boy, they did not like those amicus briefs. As reported by You Today, iRemit, a remittance company based in the Philippines, said that it was interested in the outcome of the lawsuit because of its heavy reliance on Ripple's on-demand liquidity solution, which uses the XRP token as a bridge currency. The company claimed that it had deep knowledge of the technology, and it expressed its desire to aid the court's evaluation of the SEC's arguments. And then there was TapJets, the second one. I think they were actually filed on the same day. TapJet's, a private jet charter company, also stepped up, highlighting XRP's utility by asking the court to file an amicus brief. It argued that the usage of the XRP token, which makes it possible to make faster transactions, was central to the business model. And this is what ended up happening, guys. So Jeremy Hogan posting this, responding to James K. Filan's tweet here. And James K. Filan's tweet, the SEC opposes the iRemit and TapJet's motion to file amicus briefs, so we already kind of established that, claiming the proposed briefs are improper attempts to offer evidence outside the constraints of discovery, restricting the rules of evidence and the court's prior order. Jeremy Hogan responds, the SEC objects to the amicus briefs as they contain facts outside of discovery evidence, and which it hasn't been able to investigate. As a litigator, I feel it's pain. A tenet of law is the right to cross-examine a witness, right? And these briefs do speak new facts in. So Jeremy Hogan playing devil's advocate a little bit, saying, the SEC kind of has a point here, but the counter-argument is that there should be some leeway because the judge can give the amici evidence less weight than normal evidence when weighing the facts. So he's saying the judge has that option if she chooses to do so. He goes on to say, and finally, does it really matter when the SEC provides the judge such a nice summary of the amici's position? And he posts the summary in here. I will link this in the description if you guys want to read it, but I think you guys get the gist of it. Mike Manfield, so are you saying it's a good chance the judge could agree with the SEC, Jeremy? Jeremy Hogan responding, honestly, I don't know what she does with this. Most of the case law revolves around new facts presented at the appellate level, which is a little different. I don't know how she'll rule on this. And Barad is asking Jeremy, please spell it out for me. Is this good or bad for Ripple? Jeremy Hogan says it's neither good nor bad. It is just expected. And Sherry down here saying, that they do, such as disapproving the SEC's claim of there being no use case for XRP. Oh yeah, that one's for sure, says Jeremy Hogan. But of course, with any good case, Ripple does fight back. They slam the SEC and the SEC's opposition of the iRemit and TapJet's motion to file amicus briefs. If the SEC cannot evaluate the veracity of such claims, then it had no business bringing this litigation in the first place. Boom! So Ripple criticizing the SEC and Tipsy Tiger here, just bringing in that statement. Finally, the SEC remarkably suggests that it would be prejudiced by the inability to evaluate the factual veracity of their claims or show that Movent's facts are disputed. The SEC has sought summary judgment based on what it erroneously claims are undisputed facts that every purchase of XRP is an investment and that every XRP purchaser expects profits from Ripple's efforts. Nothing could be more to the point than these two amicus briefs refuting, or at least disputing, both points. If the SEC cannot evaluate the veracity of such claims, then it had no business bringing this litigation in the first place. The SEC is getting nailed, guys, and it is feeling better and better as an XRP holder. At least for me it is. Bill atbalisarius here also bringing this up. If it is brilliant, it is in Ripple's opportunistic timing. That last paragraph in Ripple's letter refers to the SEC's assertion that in its summary judgment motion, that it's undisputed that one, every XRP purchase is an investment. So he points down just to that here. A purchase of XRP was an investment of money into a common enterprise with other XRP investors with the defendant. For one example, not sure this is one to which Ripple refers to. And then down here, every purchaser expects profits, and then points to this example down here. No genuine dispute exists that XRP investors reasonably expected that their profits would be derived from the entrepreneurial or managerial efforts of others. The TapJet's and iRemit's brief squarely contradict these two so-called undisputed assertions. So according to these lawyers, namely Bill and Jeremy, the TapJet's and iRemit briefs are strong enough to prove a point. But as to Jeremy Hogan's other point there, I guess it's going to really depend on if the judge, how much weight the judge puts on these amicus briefs, considering it is technically new evidence and technically the SEC has a point. How will she weight them in terms of importance? Bill continues down here, while Ripple hasn't filed yet its opposition brief, but I expect it would dispute those assertions. But until it does, the briefs of TapJet's and iRemit assist the courts by giving a perspective of users who assert they don't acquire XRP for an investment and don't expect profits. Well, since then, Ripple did file, of course. Until Ripple files its opposition brief with evidence contradicting these two assertions, its last point in the letter opposing the SEC's attacks on the TapJet and iRemit briefs is more than just the good rhetorical blast it appears. I'm wondering how these briefs would go with the judge had they been filed after Ripple files its opposition brief with the SEC's summary judgment motion and gives evidence disputing these so-called undisputed assertions that the SEC makes. And John Deaton responding down here, as you've pointed out before, Bill, SEC still saying all XRP. On page 2, it's saying a purchase of XRP is. That's covered present day sales. And on pages 49 to 50, what that just showed says a purchase was. Was means all the sales in the past, and it means present day sales equals all XRP. So what is the SEC saying, and are they getting caught up in the linguistics? I mean, it's important for this case because it does play a huge differentiating factor here. The other big thing is, how will the judge respond to this? Will she weigh these amicus briefs heavily within the grand importance of the entire lawsuit, or will she diminish their weight because of technicalities? I mean, we already kind of get what her opinion is of the SEC. Which way do you think she'll move? That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments, and thanks so much, guys, for making 90,000 happen, 10 more thousand to 100,000 subscribers, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.